services only with Supersonics.
For effective this that will come before the commission, grant them the boldness and population. This we ask through Christ our Lord. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much, Bishop Badeko. Council, if we're ready with this morning's witness, we may please proceed.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Good morning. Jimmy said, invitation, so listening issue. So that under the TRRC Act,
Council come for wala mnyindi ko sedo ye kalota le tumarame ne kalota anu abi karamutan le nyina ko Gambia banko kanjang nimulu atinyati ye tumarame ne ye kalota bine sedo ndro dila yikuma soto balo ho mulu atinyati anu TRRC fananjang ye tumarame ne kalota yikuma so fo me alan ko aman soto fana mulu atinyati TRRC la duwa ko akawole senendima.
All right. You have been adversely mentioned in a few instances. The first is your alleged participation in the torture of Farafenni attackers.
Si kono jang iko fora janne ko to me alon ko iko ida bulata ko kono ndo do kono wala bo en kawo men kata Farafenni o sangola
when they were arrested
riye muda
following the attack on Farafenni barracks. And this would include Balo Kante, Mr. Drame, and others.
Balo Drame and Mr. Drame. Balo Kante and Mr. Drame kontongying and do kotamolu.
Yes. I can get you the full names later. You also alleged to have participated in the torture of Lamin Kabu and crew. When they were arrested for impeding an NIA operation.
I
know that you have been tried, acquitted, and discharged in that particular, not necessarily sitting as in appeal of that high court decision. That is not our purpose. We are not trying to do that at all. That would not be within our remit. It would not be within our jurisdiction. What we are trying to do is to catalog or investigate the human rights violations that arose during that incident, regardless of the findings of the High Court on that issue. Apart from your adverse mention in the areas I have enumerated, the Commission would want to hear the information you have regarding tortures that took place at the NIA foiled coup d'etat of Nurchak.
Commission belavla ya for mo jang ya ite longdo men soto tajire ya la men ya ko iketa je NIA je to andu abe kono wala kabrin 2006 coup d'etat nyum fanan duru chamla coup d'etat bayri mom fanan ni mol muta men la tawul fanan kan belavla ka fanan kacha.
Are you ready to proceed?
I'm very much ready.
Thank you very much. What are your full names?
My name's Ibrahim Drame. Ibrahim Drame.
Otherwise known as?
Jim. Dolkafanya Jim.
Date and place of birth?
I was born on the 26th of August,
1965.
1965.
In a village called Kankuntu, Foni Councillor District.
Foni Councillor Tundokan.
Give us a brief description of your biographical information.
Silang sutia ya sutia ndido ila kibaro afdinna bang ila kulata nyamen ila kibaro nyi.
Having gone through my nursery school, it happens my father traveled to Sierra Leone. As you know, in those days there was this lot of Gambians floating all the way to Sierra Leone to look for diamonds. And among those ambitious Gambians that left the Gambia, I was fortunate. I was in the sense, Allah blessed him with a family. A very guided family for that matter. He guided them to be able to practice Islam accordingly. Mr. Drame, I have told you earlier that we should put aside all these trappings. And, we cannot start invoking our various faiths, and that would be complicated. I was enrolled in a primary school in Sierra Leone, called Kwedu Islamic Primary School, where I went all to class 1, followed to class 1 to class 7. Where I wrote to more common entrance examination. And I was able to gain entrance to a secondary school. In those days, there was nothing like high school or senior secondary school. It's either you couldn't make it, stay put, or if you cross the common entrance, proceed to a secondary school. It was as a result that I gained entrance, having passed the common entrance. To which school? Ansarul Islamic Secondary School. Ansarul Islamic Secondary Karambu. Where? In Sierra Leone. Sierra Leone, Bangkok. Which part of Sierra Leone? Mr. Drame, Sierra Leone had the same system as the Gambia, and even at that time they had high schools. Sierra Leone, I went to Forabe College, fortunately, and just at the foot of the hill is Albert Academy. Albert Academy was a high school from the early 1900s. In Sierra Leone, Bangkok, secondary schools, secondary karambulu is from Form 1 up to Form 5. And then from some secondary schools, secondary karambulu they have Form 6. Form 6 with lower and upper. Lower and upper. But at the time I'm talking about, there was no school at the time that was mentioned high school. High school. After primary level, you have secondary schools. Having both school, wasn't it a high school? It was in the sense, but it was a secondary school. St. Edward's, wasn't it a high school? St. Edward's, it was, but they were all called secondary schools. Let's not debate on that. Proceed, please. Equally, after spending 3 years, my father had to send me back to the Gambia. When I arrived, I was enrolled into St. Augustine High School. St. Augustine's High School, where I finished my high school examination ordinary level. GCE ordinary level. Having completed my high school in St. Augustine's,
Nana karambumba bang St. Augustine's.
I think it will be interesting to note that the former SG Fadera and the current PS Interior were my classmates.
Namira asike mole hamne kuti purka lonko Fadera meya ateni who is your person? I remember permanent secretary ala sai ni bebe class kilo kono
Interior, permanent secretary
Interior. Wala asan tangara ni bebe karambum kilo dono.
Having completed my high school,
Nana karambumba bang. Santo to kara diploma makamo
integrated
nata lolo soto maya lonko tinta hadamaya kunya ludo ko la karola
psychology
ani mo yirwa do ko lu fe lolo ko londi santo bundati.
Your papers will be forwarded to the personnel management office.
Ke la kaito lu samba do kula lu bento
Was being run by the community development.
Jama yirwandi bunda me ka fa community development wolle be karambo tamandi kawotumo
At that time.
nim banku kenolla.
So automatically,
Bitun atembeta nyinyama ko
my employment was
akata samba jarume koto sato to pula do ko kije
in Ajarimakoto.
be jarume koto ke kan
Actually, I did not like it.
man la fala
There was something that I thought I liked. At that time,
otembo
I was employed with grade 6 girls.
bayre ngabu ko jama karang ni saferu bukolu
I had the admiration for becoming an intelligence officer.
nata yin hamno soto pour ngake do ko lati men do ko sitara dendi kullo kibaro lu la karola.
It was as a result of that,
O dalilo le asabu
in one of our gatherings with among my peer groups,
nka funyolu kono na bendo sotonta
I told someone, I said it's unfortunate
ko dole ko ni mukuleti men a manka nyama
that a country like the Gambia
banko men be ko Gambia
does not have an established intelligence organization.
e mon bunda lori soto me ya lonko wala londir dinkari doku bundati.
You wanted to be a spy. Exactly so.
lafta kananke kunun ko kulo sunyalati
Very true indeed.
Mutonyal
He immediately condemned me.
ayendoya
He said, no, there exists one.
akayen ko kilimbe kerin janne
And it is called the National Security Service, NSS.
akayen ko bunda ka fujele NSS
But to me,
National
that
Security
was-
Service
It was a very big surprise.
ukitante terem bati
I said, where are they housed?
nkaye wala dinkirabe min tole
He told me it is the president's office
ako wala be president la office wala ko
at State House.
State House
I didn't say anything.
non fenfo
The following morning,
osomo
I went straight to the State House.
ndata State House
And I found the gendarmerie on good duties.
na salar morol tara do ko wala
But I have been told already that the head is called Keba Sise.
andu ya fanye foka pare ko ila nyaton ko ka fole ke basise
And I told them I want to see Keba Sise.
ko lefta ke basise le
I was asked whether I had an appointment with him.
e nyinin ka fonna dia mutale pour na taje bang
I answered in the negative.
ko hani
They said, then you cannot see him.
ko nyawto taje nola
I was too adamant,
mbari nak kanjati ngam bunda alin kunja
insisted that I would like to see him.
mbalanta ko lefta jelale
In the process,
o kono
I was arrested.
ye muta
I was detained.
ye sindi blakling
I think also you can agree with me, my rights were violated.
bitu ngalon ko je bitu yam fanan na nyanto tinya
I was detained the whole day.
yo mo ye sindi blakling
In the evening,
uraro
they released me.
yambula
I went home.
nsaita
The following morning,
asomo
I went back to the State House.
muruta State House ko
I
daga
said, I want to see Keba Sise.
ko lefta ke basise le je
And I was so, were you not the one who came here yesterday?
ko nyam fetele man na jankulu
I told to see him personally. There's something I want to discuss with him.
ko lefta uraro ndim manasi
Wait,
ibatu
someone will come for you. One who is persistently coming over here that he wants to see you.
afai onata kamaje
And took me to Keba Sise's organization.
ngai Mr. Sisi
And I told him I'm currently working.
nga min tembe ndembe do ko lalde
What I want to an application,
safero ko memu do ko nyini ngal
copy all
safero
your papers
Yani la kaito kafunyo
Bring it over to me.
yana tinteye.
I did that. The first person to report to work at the president's office in those days.
Ya basi sele mu foloti men kafuta do ko dula to president office do tilo lukol.
Well, you remember in those days we have these bosses that trod between Apply Banjul Serekunda.
Nani hakilo baka wotembo boso lu bekeri men kabori Banjul ni
He goes to work early.
ya basi se fana kata do ko la nya
At the gate of the state house.
wolunga enteta lori state house.
When he saw me, he started laughing.
Brian ya jeleta.
He put me on board his vehicle.
Ayumbulandi ala motoko.
Drove to his office.
Ntakala office.
I showed him all my papers.
Nana kaito litandiala.
Called someone
Mukumandi
and asked them to file. So you can be calling that every fortnight.
Akaye sikari ni lomba lukumandi lokum.
And in the village,
Utumombe santo sate oto.
my younger brother came at the NSS headquarters.
NSS la korda bato.
Subsequently, I was enrolled. I was taken for training. Also, during my training, I won all the prizes. Everything, academics, weapons, self-defense. Only one prize I didn't win. That was the most disciplined recruit. Manjako already very, very disciplined. She was very disciplined. He won that prize. Other than that, you were too stubborn. No, directly, but I grabbed all the prizes. I was then posted to the counter commandant of the training school at the time. Taking cognizance of my agility, coupled with my expertise in self-defense, there was the need for an incorporation of intelligence officer into the close protection corps. I was redeployed to the presidential guards. The first president of the republic followed the president follow. The late Sadauda, Tala Sadauda, and his immediate family, I have protected them nationally and internationally. Council, I set up a record because things that I did there, which I think, I know is off record. Let's proceed, sir. Having served there, the night before, the day before the 1994 coup, from the intelligence collection, we believe that coup should have taken place on the 21st upon arrival. Thank Allah it did not take place there. Well, I was in a close protection corps that received His Excellency when he was from the holidays. Because I thought if it had taken place at the airport, as planned, I would not have survived it.
You will not survive it, or
I will not have survived that. While His Excellency was taking the guard of honor, I was the bodyguard between him and the soldiers. So there is no way you can touch him without touching me. Mr. Dra, maybe understand there was no guard of honor. There was. Well, I recall most of the testimony we received suggested that there was no guard of honor. There was a guard of honor, sir. Just a moment. What happened was, okay, Jawara arrived. He greeted a few people, and straight away he was whisked into his vehicle. There is no dispute that you were there. There's no dispute that you were doing your duties. And obviously, if there was to be any fighting, you would have been caught in between. But the evidence we received is that there was no guard of honor. But this is an immaterial point.
It's immaterial, but counsel, there was a guard of honor, and Edward Singate was the guard commander.
Well, Edward Singate did not suggest that there was a guard of honor.
There was.
My recollection is right. But let's move on, and then we take it from there. The record has noted that you suggested there was a guard of honor.
There was.
Proceed, please.
We arrived at the State House.
Mfutata State House.
Upon him being housed,
Dunia titata fadu ndala bungono.
we dispersed.
Ndeli janjanda.
On that very day even,
Tatu ulumfango.
I was not supposed to be on duties.
Mantara manya na do ko kela lumfang.
For whatever reason,
Bare dalila o dalila ya
I was
sabu.
called to go to beef up the close protection case,
Udeta keta wolunde.
and everything changed.
Ko be falinta.
And subsequently, the NSS was disbanded.
It was disbanded and named the National Intelligence Agency.
Ye NSS janjang iko National Intelligence Agency
A new
NIA.
agency was created.
Very true, sir.
Onyala.
And you joined that new agency.
I was sent back to my parent body, which was the Intelligence Corps.
Ya murundi na doku bunda kafokono memu kullo fanung bundate.
And you rose through the ranks.
I rose through the ranks.
Tell us
Abetu
the
na palaso
positions you
la
have
fata.
held.
Before we get to that,
Yaninga futa
there is no department at the NIA
bundate NIA
that I have not manned,
nte mandame mara.
with the exception of the mechanical division and the technical division.
Fo masin doko be karo menna ani ni meche doko be karo menna mawol doron ne mara.
Just briefly enumerate them.
That's right, sir. From 1994, I was, after being a close protection officer,
Birin keta balama kandar lati
94 to 96,
94 kata 96
I was second in command at the counter espionage unit.
ntele simbe nyato ko kam bundal men ya lonko melu fanal ka bula kullo sunu noma kullo din karingulu.
Also a trainer at the training school.
Nyata ke karandir lati karambu nyunto ka mulu karandi dame.
From 1996
Abu 1996
to 97,
kata 97
I was section head of the economic sabotage
nketa nyato kati bundala me ya lonko wolle kati nyaro ke fankola karola.
at the National Economic Sabotage and Agricultural Intelligence.
Kullo tinya fanka tinya ning selo kullo londo la karola.
From 1997 to 98,
Abu 1997 kata 98
I was again redeployed as the head.
no lakuwa no masata.
Again in 1998,
Otake 1998
I was appointed to become a task force member
yeritom bompunga ke kafunya tonkati
of the National Security Council.
me yalo nya follow la banko kan.
I was representing the National Intelligence Agency to formulate that security programs
Ntele sita NIA toya la ubulla la puka programu lulondi.
and to prepare guidelines countrywide.
Anin ka tarambulo ni kulu fanalu parendi banko karobe la nyanta do ko kelamenti na lotan kamulu.
From 1998 to 1999,
Abu 1998 kata
I was
1999
head of investigation.
kata nyaton kati kisi no ubullala.
I did here 1 year,
Nasanji kilinkije
1991 to 2001.
1991 kata 2001
I was the officer commanding operations.
ntele officer ti meye do kolu sambanya nyaton kaya.
2003,
Abu 2003
I briefly served at Bumbung as their commanding officer,
no wati sutun ke bundu ntele kete 2003 kata 2000
Ethiopia and Eritrea.
United Nations la do ko la karola Ethiopia me Eritrea to moment.
I found a
Supersonics Money Transfer ñoo dellu si waat indi leen xéewal bu neex a neex fii ba wari octobre di jeex waaw fii ba wari octobre di jeex mën nga am sansu wit benn saaku maalo saa yoo jotee xaalis fii ci biir réewi Gambia bàyyee ko foofu sa UK Europe US Canada ak Switzerland ak Supersonics Money Transfer xanaa lii neexati na doore ko tey ba weeri octobre di jeex mën nga win benn saaku maalo saa yoo jotee xaalis fii si biir réewi Gambia bàyyee ko UK Europe US Canada ak Switzerland téeméeri saaku maalo ñoo fi nekk kon gaawal nga bokk si téeméeri nit yi nga xam ne mën nga am sans win si xéewal yi nga xam ne kenn dootu ko natable ak Supersonics Money Transfer bànneexu leen ci suñ yónneekaay xaalis bi gën a wóor gën a gaaw gën a noppale ak yónneekaay xaalis bi gën a màgg si biir réewi
jaajëfal bu baax a baax ñu toog ak Ibrahima Jawa tey nag moom gisuñ ganila yi gisuñ cuubi
waxuma ne dama taxawaat
You want to know about the Gambia entertainment industry? You want to know the existing policies and programs of the arts and culture sector. You want to know about the governance and management of the arts association. The program will
Fast
throw a
and
fresh
convenient
light
service that
on the
offers you the
entertainment
accounting,
industry in
interact
focus.
and enjoy excellent
We will touch
quality.
so many angles about the cultural sector, the opportunities and challenges, and interrogate them, and most importantly, offer solutions.
jaajëfal bu baax a baax ñu toog ak Ibrahima Jawa tey nag moom gisuñ ganila yi gisuñ cuubi
waxuma ne dama taxawaat pour mayo waxuma ne ma taxawaat pour place bi wala place bële man bi maa ñëw pour mayo si ay nit ñoo ma utal si ne dañ bëgg pour ma taxaw pour mayo si te jaawo gi nit ñi di la toppa xam nga ak yooyu ma gis ne leena moo fi siis benn teel a sëy parti boo xalaat nag waxtaan ne ñoo man su seen kilifa waxtaanu ta man yónnee nañ nit ci man gis nga développement gis nga tali yi nekk Banjul dang daan dugg biir Banjul xet di la rëy xet amatu fi bu timis bu la fekkaan fi waxtu wii nii ngaa bugg di def di tàccu yooyu te Banjul loolu amatu fi waaw ci naka
ñu dégg ne yow daal léegi NPP nga maanaam bu baro nga waaw loolu laa dégg te ma ne nag
waaw
foog nga jàkkaarloo lii di sama xarit nga wax ak moom parce que nit yaa ngi ko wax de
ku nekk ut na ma ne fekk ñëwuma ci ground bi pour assess the political landscape du ma support benn parti
egsi nga léegi fan la
was as a result of that, I have tasked Tumbul to find that information. Tumbul can be in a better position to give me that accurate information. But unfortunately, his conscience was betrayed. Tumbul did not report to Marena. Whatever reason, the lies and info.
waxuma ne dama taxawaat pour mayo waxuma ne ma taxawaat pour place bi wala place kële man bi maa ñëw fu mayo si ay nit ñoo ma utal si ne dañ bëgg pour ma taxaw pour mayo si te jaawo gi nit ñi di la toppa xam nga ak yooyu ma gis ne leena moo fi sës benn teel a sëy parti boo xalaat nag waxtaan ne ñoo man su seen kilifa waxtaanu ta man yónnee nañ nit ci man gis nga développement gis nga tali yi nekk Banjul dang daan dugg biir Banjul xet di la rëy xet amatu fi bu timis bu la fekkaan fi waxtu wi nii ngaa bugg di def di tàccu yooyu te Banjul loolu amatu fi waaw ci naka
ñu dégg ne yow daal léegi NPP nga maanaam bu baro nga waaw loolu laa dégg te ma ne nag foog nga jàkkaarloo lii di sama xarit nga wax ak moom parce que nit yaa ngi ko wax de
ku nekk ut na ma ne fekk ñëwuma ci ground bi pour assess the political landscape du ma support benn parti
egsi nga léegi fan la
lies and information
wakai sa lafta kibarolu muntun na lengeka funyuma alko
was as a result of that
dalilo ya sabu
I have tasked Tumbul to find that information.
Wodo ko di Tumbul la prae tawo kibaro nyinin
Let Tumbul can be in a better position to give me that accurate information.
Tumbulu moti mensi o kibaru koyo fono nteye walanna.
But unfortunately,
his
conscience was betrayed.
Tumbul
did not report to Marena.
Whatever
reason,
that
was best known to him. He went straight and briefed the president. And Marena told us in that briefing that the then president was not happy with him. He said, but he had a clear conscience. He wants to give the president the truth. To give him facts. And not assumptions. We discuss other operational modalities. And then we disperse in each given task. And I drove him back to his home.
From the information you had, was Marena part of the planned coup, or was he not part of the planned?
Marena was never part of that coup d'etat. Council, how can you be part of a coup d'etat and you know it has leaked and you are traveling Mauritania back to that country?
Council ila sitarano kudeta kolonya dile melnata wanyari abaita yena fok pare ite betama silo kai be murula nan kana say
Marena was never part of that.
Marena dan na mambula kudeta ko
Msir Jase went up to the border.
Msir Jase tarafon na neoro
delivered Nur Cham
Samba
at the border
na neoro
and he returned.
Amurundana.
So that is no basis for the conclusion that this man was not part of the coup.
Try another one. Kamsir did not do his mathematics well.
Kamsir malak continue kabo anyota kabo nyoto anya.
Probably he thought Nur Cham was the only person who knew.
Tumandoro aseke ateyamira ko Nur Cham do ne ko.
The same thing could apply to Daba.
There was no part in any further investigation that were convened. There was no alleged plotter that mentioned the name of Daba Marena.
Precisely, that's the point, isn't it? Nobody mentioned Daba.
Not at all.
to have been involved. Thank you very much. And what happened after that?
The following morning, we went to work. Counselor was one of his most trusted aides. He called me. Whilst I was at his veranda, on the whole, he was in his office with some soldiers. I think they were under the instruction to come and arrest Daba. When they came out, alongside with the soldier, that was headed by Alaji Martin at the time. When he came out, he looked at me.
I'll come back inshallah by the grace of Allah.
Marina went.
Marina Tata.
And never came back.
Oh, you never saw him came?
We never came back.
And the NIA started investigating this coup d'etat via a panel.
NIL inatana damu ta puru kanyum kudeta bayari munyin ka damu ta ka kisi inatana panelo londi akwam.
That's correct, sir.
Were you still in the headquarters, working at headquarters when this panel was doing its work?
Hanin ka bitar tanun do ko ran headquarters jebang tumalame ne nyim panelo nyin wara mata yin kafo nyin londi men ka membe ko nyin kisi la.
I was going to work every day at the headquarters 8 to 4. Sometimes I would stay up to 6.
Luolun dinkata do ko la headquarters kabutalan say futalan nani tumodo lunkata je futala woro.
And from your observations, how was this panel doing its work?
Council, the hall where the panel was housed, it's a very close proximity to my office. It went to a stage that I sometimes avoid going to my office.
Why?
It's because of you cannot imagine that there are days you come, you find people paraded around my veranda. That is to say, the hall and my office share the same veranda. Seeing people that you know, they know you, you know them, and there were some degree of acquaintance between you and them. Seeing them in a very pathetic state.
Could you explain what you mean by that? Seeing them in a very pathetic state.
I'll first of all start. Ex-General Ibrahim Abba.
General Koto Ibrahim Abba.
I found him in shot. He was crying. I looked at him. After some time,
crying as a result of what?
I asked him, my elder, what has happened? He said to me, they beat me mercilessly.
I said, who? The black. I kept quiet. Because that time, there was no single staff in that institution that was even safe. We were all afraid.
Afraid of what?
Even sometimes the person that you know that were among those arrested, No close association with this could be depicted or interpreted otherwise.
What are you afraid of?
Arrest, detention, and possible beatings.
But beatings is a civilized way of describing torture.
Council,
with due respect, give me something I'll put in.
I'm just suggesting that beatings is a civilized way of calling torture.
In this case, I will take the latter of yours, torture.
You were afraid that what was happening to those people you saw right at the veranda of your office, you were afraid that the same fate would befall you.
That is one side. Or there's this other side. Those doing the interrogations that had no idea about interrogation, they misconstrued the facts. A point in case, there was this fateful day, sometime between 2 a.m. to 3 a.m., all the directors of the NIA were summoned to the headquarters by the Director General.
Was the Director General operating alone in that activity?
For Director General,
I suppose he was there with the panel members and other heads, security heads at the time.
And were there any other officials who were not members of the security institution?
If my memory serves me well, with the exception of us, those panel members, we saw people in black fatigues and which have balaclava covered faces.
Any civilians?
Those night none.
What?
The night that we were summoned to come to the headquarters, there were none.
Any lawyers?
There were none.
Proceed, please.
We were summoned. We were all paraded into the conference hall. Then suddenly, the late Musa Jammeh entered and pointed at Ngor Seka, Jibril Seka. He said, out. And then Musa Diba, out. The rest of you, you can go. That was too traumatic indeed.
Why was it?
Ngor, out. No explanation. Musa Diba, out. No explanation. The rest of you go. Realize that those colleagues who were asked out have been arrested.
But that is how the NIA operated.
This was not the NIA at play at the time.
End, but that is the normal way the NIA operated.
I disagree, sir. If a panel is constituted, the NIA might not have the leverage.
But that panel was headed by Momodu Haidara, who was the Deputy Director General at the time.
At this time, he was not yet Deputy Director General that I'm talking about.
Nonetheless, he was the head. He was the chairman of the panel. But that's the way the NIA operated. You would be working with A now, the next minute you arrest A and put him down. That is what obtained. Not only in the NIA, but also the police. But also the military. That was the modus operandi of the security forces. Is that not true, Mr. Witness?
That is correct.
Thank you very much. So, you had no reason to be surprised because of the arrest. Perhaps you may have been scared that you may be next. Is that not the case?
That wasn't the case.
Was that the only time you were summoned there?
There were second times.
That second time, did you get in?
In where?
The panel setting where you were summoned?
No, we did not. I did not get there.
Why?
They needed something in my office.
And then?
Papers and stationaries.
And
why I was surprised was for what Ngorseka was arrested for. Sir, up to 2006, it was very rare among fair to hear that we were arresting each other. I will suggest, if we go back to books, those severe tortures started during the advent of the abortive 2006 coup. I am not disputing that it has not happened there.
That is not the case. It used to happen before. Each time there was the rumor of a coup d'etat, people arrested were dealt with in the most gruesome manner. Do you agree?
I have had cases of which I was never present, that it has happened.
Precisely. Whenever there was a threat or a perceived threat to Yaya Jammeh's presidency or his position as head of state, terrible things happen to those people. At the NIA,
Ando akaka mintu wala walto mena ela o sansan konoti.
You agree with that?
Fo isonda wala.
Musa,
1996 November, Farafenni attackers, they suffered the most gruesome torture.
1996 November karoko no boy kanal mendar Farafenni. You will find ku killing wala lata wala kang NIA.
We know you told us you were not part of the torturers.
But
you agree that the tortures happened.
That would have been a hearsay,
but you've told us a lot of hearsay. And you gladly gave us a litany of hearsay, especially what happened in Farafenni. And suddenly you are allergic to giving us more hearsay.
I am not.
Tell us the stories you received about the tortures. At the NIA regarding the Farafenni attackers.
Sir, frankly, with that of Farafenni, I did not make a follow-up. I did more than 2 weeks outside Banjul.
Mr. Witness, did you see the press conference in which the Farafenni attackers were paraded?
Yeah, Jelabang, Kibar, Kafunyomo Menketa, Puring, Canal Bianco, Farafenni, Sinduaro, and Puruchi.
I did not. Between me and Allah, I did not.
No, if we have time, we would play it for you, and you would see that these people were brutally tortured.
It
was common knowledge that these people were tortured.
I am not disputing that fact.
But this is the point I am making. That tortures used to happen at the NIA every time Yahya Jammeh's authority was threatened. (1996) There were tortures of the Farafenni attackers. You agree with that?
I agree.
2006. There were tortures, brutal tortures. You agree?
Very well, sir. Before you proceed,
just a moment, let me just finish my line of thought, my line of questioning. Even 1996, even those PPP supporters who demonstrated against Yahya Jammeh's government were tortured. True or false?
I was not in the country at the time.
Yes, but you information.
I heard that they were, but I was not in the country, okay. So I cannot ascertain that.
Okay, but you accept you have heard that they were also tortured. April 2000, the kids that demonstrated.
April 2000
the first challenge to Yahya Jammeh's authority after 1996 were killed and tortured. Some killed, some tortured. You heard about that?
I heard about it.
Okay, let me just continue. All right. 2006.
With that.
They were brutally tortured also at the NIA. 2009, another suggestion of a coup d'etat against Yahya Jammeh. They were again brutally tortured.
I had already gone out of the NIA in 2009. I wasn't there anymore.
What I am trying to do is to establish a pattern to show that each time Yahya Jammeh's authority was either challenged or threatened, the culprits were brutally dealt with.
So bisabita umari nyol mena oluka ke molle ning atra yemuda ke molle me ko ke tajira ni tajira ya dimindi ngolla
by way of torture at the NIA.
Nunga ko ke nyaadi wala mi diki tajira ni tajinde ya mintu wala dom NIA sansan kono.
You agree with that?
Isonda wala.
Great. Isonda. Fantastic.
Betayata nyinyata.
Even December 2014.
Hani December karo 2014 sango.
Those arrested, you may not have been there.
I wasn't there.
Yes, but those arrested were also tortured. So torture was a tool that was used at the NIA as a brutal response to a threat or a perceived threat to Yahya Jammeh's presidency. You agree with that?
Taking cognizance of the sequence of events, some that found me there, and others that did not find me, those that I have knowledge of, those that I have seen, and that I have heard, and taking cognizance of some of the testimonies revealed here at the TRRC, that is the fact.
Thank you very much. And in 2006, while you were there, you were seeing these people, you knew that these were people who were tortured. True or false?
Very true.
Tell us the examples of the people you saw and knew that they were tortured.
I saw Bunja Dabo. You know the bantamhood that exists between me and him. When I found him sitting by my veranda, I looked at him. I could not joke with him. He was in a very pathetic state.
Tell us about it.
He was beaten, severely beaten. You can see it on his body everywhere.
And what was it on him? Well, you said injuries on him. Did you see his arm?
He had a cloth on, but the bodies and the hands, you can see that there are marks.
And who
Was a camera.
Yes.
You see, council, I had a very traumatic situation then. There is no way I can enter my office without seeing these people. Wasa asked me for water. I entered my office to give him water.
He said in Mandinka, they beat me seriously.
I shook my head.
In what?
Huh?
In what? In shame or in shock or in disbelief? Or all three together?
All three together. I told him, Alamuta,
have faith in Allah.
Who else did you see?
There was this situation at night when we were summoned. I have come to provide logistics. I saw the current Speaker of the National Assembly, Madam Mariam Dentin. Her apparels were completely soaked. And we were not in the rainy season. She was trembling. She was shedding tears. But believe me, she is very strong. Shedding tears, you can see she is shedding tears and biting her lips. And I knew he did not come with that wet dress. Looking at him, you know that they did torture her.
How did you feel when you saw her?
I was sad.
Ashamed.
Very true. Very true.
Disappointed.
Very true.
Rejected. Also by the same people that you would come across in your premises, in your office on a daily basis. Very sad, isn't it?
Sir, Council, I want us to clear that doubt. We were later made to understand those that were doing the beatings for that 2006 were the junglers.
The NIA was comprised of various sections, wasn't it?
Very true.
And those sections collaborated together to produce the ultimate results the NIA would produce in their work.
True.
As you were at the NIA at that time in 2006, you knew that torture was part of the process of extorting the evidence from the witnesses. That was suggested by the Director General of the time in his testimony yesterday.
What 2006 ita kwete tamalako NIA jeto wala muitola tamandre burodi kapuruka kuma kansoto mo bulo kono puru itola fita benda kome
ke force
ya kuma soto muari bulo kono ko sedo ya foja nyame kunu Director General ya foja nyame kunu.
True or false?
Very true.
So it was known to everybody who worked there that these people were being tortured with a view to extorting confessions from them.
Because kweta mobe majeko nyimolu yemelu mutateng ike tajire yale puru kakumulu soto ibulu hani malafi memfala isif for indiala puru nyen kamala ite lafta kumulu mwila wala for mankebang sedo kotonyala.
Was this fact known to the panelists?
For I
was not a member of the panel, and I cannot speak for the panels. It was evident those at that material point in time, the panel members were there, and you have those who were doing the torture.
And the hallmarks of torture was patently visible on the suspects who were brought there for interrogation. Isn't that the case? If it was so patently obvious to you who was an outsider in the process, wouldn't it be plain and visible to members of the panel?
I agree with you.
In fact, what do you say to the suggestion that the members of the panel did not know that the suspects were being tortured?
Knowing that I was not a panel member, I don't want to speak for the panel.
No, you can't dodge. This is a matter of opinion. You have seen the suspects. You have seen them several times during that process.
Can we make this point clear that some, not all, some suspects?
Yes. You saw Ramzi Dia.
Very well.
From what you saw, did it appear to you that she was tortured?
That's correct. That is correct.
You saw Mariam Denton. Did it appear to you that she was tortured?
That is correct.
You saw was a camera. Did it appear to you that he was tortured? You saw General Ba. Did it appear to you that he was tortured? Did you see Bunja Dabo? Did it appear to you that he was tortured? In fact, did you see any suspect who did not appear to have been tortured?
Don't I had chance to see, it was visibly written on them that they were all tortured, including, I remember one Lamin Gazama, if security of the at the GCA airport, I remember seeing him also.
But you in fact also saw Per Mendy being tortured.
We will come to that.
But just answer now.
Very correct. So that is the one I visibly saw even.
All that put together, don't you think that even if the panel members were all blind, they would still see that these people were tortured?
Very correct.
What would you now, in view of all this, what would you say to the suggestion by members of the panel that they did not know that these people were being tortured? Are they speaking the truth or are they lying?
I would suggest that they lied.
Why do you say that?
If an information received was forceful, the process used was not conventional, I would want to argue the fact surrounding that particular revelations.
Wouldn't it be the case that it's just so patently obvious to everybody at the time that these people were tortured? As you said, it was written all over their body.
Having seen them, I would like to speak for myself.
Speak for the reasonable person who saw what you saw.
Anyone was in my position to see them would have arrived at the conclusion that I took.
Which was?
That they were tortured.
Did the panel members see them?
They
see the suspects?
They interrogated them and took statement from them. I assume they saw them.
Are you assuming or you just know?
They should see them. That doesn't have to meet so revelation derived from them will be the basis for their investigation.
So you are not assuming that they saw them, you know that they saw them.
That is obvious.
Thank you very much. And this was the way in which the NIA worked. With the junglers at the time.
True? This was a panel that does not involve the NIA alone. We say the apparatus that were present there.
which was under the leadership and direction of the NIA.
Very correct.
So we cannot extricate the NIA. In fact, the Director General at the time was here yesterday, just sitting on that seat you were sitting today, and he accepted responsibility for it. The point I am making is that the NIA was a torture chamber of Yahya Jammeh, doing his bidding, getting for Yahya Jammeh the evidence that he needed to put away those who believed threatened his authority, and to punish them, to show example to others not to challenge his authority. You agree with that? Could you answer now?
I do.
Thank you very much. So torture was an accepted culture at the NIA.
By those who actually want to do it. Not all were players.
Actually, my question dealt with the institution, not the personalities. It was an accepted culture in the institution.
I solely agree with you.
In fact, special operations participated in a lot of torture at the NIA.
First of all, follow. Special operation, I don't even know their activities.
Special operation, can
I come over? Mr. Drame, please. Don't take a posture which would suggest that you are a liar. Special operations existed in the NIA. True?
Very true.
You know they were involved in special operations.
Special operations.
Correct?
That is what the unit was created for.
And in cases where Yahya Jammeh was interested, special operations would be very much involved.
Special operation
that is possible.
Well, as a king.
So you therefore know what special operation was doing.
Special operation,
you knew what their function was.
I wouldn't tell you, actually, I know their modus operandi. I have never had time working with them.
We would come to modus operandi later. And be careful what you say.
We
would also interrogate whether you have worked with them or not. We only ask questions on the basis of what you say. So you now telling us that you understand their function. The things that they were involved in.
I don't know what they were involved in.
Well, you just told us.
That they will carry special operations. But specifically, that unit that was answerable to the Director General Assuming they will take their instruction from him, I don't know anything about their operations.
Who are the members?
Special operations.
I know the head.
Who was the head?
And then
Otherwise known as Morjob, otherwise known as
Alaji Mor.
Good. And who else?
Samba Gajaga was his 2IC.
Samba Gajaga was Simbatakan.
And who else?
Lamin Dabo was in that unit.
Lamin Dabo Bunda Kilimula.
Have you ever worked with those people? Have you ever worked with Alaji Mor?
There was an instance.
You said an instance.
Yes.
You're reducing it to one.
Very true.
Proceed, please.
When they were summoned for a reinforcement.
But let's just answer the questions as asked. Have you ever worked with Alaji Mor?
No.
You've never worked with him?
No. On that instance, when they came for reinforcement,
since you've never worked with him, you don't have to go into an instance. Because you say there is zero instance in which you worked with him.
My perception here, working with him on operations, that is in the negative.
Have you ever worked with him on a dossier at the NIA? Have you ever worked with him on a case?
The operation collided, yes.
So you have worked with him before?
In this instance, that is in the affirmative.
Are you suggesting that this was the only time you ever worked with him on a matter at the NIA?
Very correct, sir.
That would be very hard to believe.
He has never served in any of my unit.
But you would accept that a lot of NIA work is collaborative. It is inter-unit activity. Not just one unit. You have several units.
On this instance, I have never worked with Alaji Mor.
How about Lamin Dabo?
That same instance.
That was the only time.
Only time.
Don't box yourself into an untenable situation.
Only time, sir. As best I can remember.
Well, you're now watering it down. Let me just leave it at that. All right. Special ops.
Special operation.
We are mainly torturers. That is the reputation they have developed at the NIA. True or false?
I cannot ascertain that. I have not seen them.
Okay.
I have not witnessed it.
Be careful how you answer questions. Don't box yourself in an untenable situation. You have been warned. Why? Special ops develops the reputation of the torturers at the NIA. True or false? Answer honestly. You are on the oath.
It is true. Based on the revelations that have been made known to me during the course of this and when I went away.
Even when you were at the NIA. Special Ops developed the reputation of being the torturers of the NIA.
Special operation.
Not when I was there. No. That one was impossible. I did not know about them. About them being torturing people? No, I did not. But of course you do. I came to know, especially based on the revelations. I have never touched them. I have never worked with them. On that instance, no way we are called for a reinforcement. There's no way we have that one. Friction must happen.
Are you serious?
Yes,
very serious, sir. None of them has ever served under me. Neither have we taken up operations together.
Nobody is suggesting here that they have worked under your direct authority or command. The suggestion is that you work together. Are you denying that?
As an institution, yes.
It is not like the transcribers and me. We just meet at the gates, or we bump into each other in the corridors. In that regard, we are not collaborating. Don't make us believe that that is the type of relationship you had with Moore and Dabo. You shared dossiers. You worked together on the same case files. That is what happened. That's the truth.
It's not true, sir.
All right. Let us proceed. Tell us about the Lamun Kabu case.
Lamun Kabu la case nying ala fonya bang. Kuma fonya wa fanana ko.
We don't want to go much into the operational details of the stint operation. Just give us briefly the context, and then we move on to the issues of what happened at the NIA.
It is very important you know the operation.
Just give us briefly the background. Because we're not here investigating that operation. What we are investigating are the things that happened after what happened at the NIA. So give us briefly the context. The
it was on a Sunday. I received a call from the then Deputy Director General. That they had an operation around the Brikama and its environs. Involving some Guinea-Bissau nationals. Bringing drugs into the Gambia. But they had an obstruction about planted drug law enforcement agencies officers that interrupted that operation, and that these Guinea-Bissau nationals are on the run with the agency's 15,000 euro. And that he would need a reinforcement. I drove to the headquarters. I alerted all the units, especially those at the border. Let's do it this way so that we can gain time.
You deployed an operation. You deployed people to carry out an operation, correct? Correct. And that operation was aimed at apprehending those who ran away.
Very correct.
At the end of the day, some people were apprehended and brought to the NIA.
Very correct.
Tell us the sequence of apprehension.
When the team that were in Brikama, they arrived with some suspects.
Who are they?
I recall seeing one a Guinea-Bissau national called Fernando Ku. And another called Karamo Drame. Victor Obi. Who is a Nigerian national. There was a fourth person whose name I could not recall right now. When they arrived, this team was seated.
Which team?
The investigators.
Who are they?
The late Sukuta Jame and the late Lamin Mane.
And Alaji Moore?
Alaji Moore was at the headquarters, yes.
He was not only at the headquarters. He participated in this investigative activity.
He was not in the investigation team, that team that was seated though.
He was not part of the operation that led to the apprehension of these guys.
Very correct.
He participated in the investigation of these guys when they were brought in at the NIA. Correct?
Very.
How precisely.
Yeah.
Proceed.
When they arrive,
sorry, let me add. Lamin Dabo also participated.
Lamin Dabo was among the team in Brikama.
He participated in the operation for apprehension. He also participated in the investigation.
Not at that, I did not see him that time there.
This is your answer. Let's proceed.
When they arrived, amongst them, Fernando was very adamant and was very brutal.
All these three people were brought before a panel.
There was no panel instituted at the time. No, we only had these few investigators. Because that, we do not need a panel. The people that were there comprised of the investigation department.
It was not a formal panel. That's what you're suggesting, correct? But there was a group of investigators. Tell us who.
Those that I saw at the time, and I can fully remember, Sukuta Jame, the late Sukuta Jame, the late Lamin Mane, and then Alaji Moore.
And you were also present there.
I was present.
So clearly, in this activity, you are working with Alaji Moore.
Exactly, I agreed.
So when you said you never worked with him on a dossier, That was not correct.
It depends in the way you thought. To me, what I thought, I am giving them information, they go and work on it. Or they got information and I'm working on it. This is why I said briefly we work together.
That's why I told you there's no need to box yourself in untenable situations. There is no gymnastics that can remove you out of this bind. You have worked with him on a case. This is why I said briefly, yes, that was the instance. I will not go into these other issues. You worked with Alaji Mo. Very correct. On this matter. And on this matter, you said Fernando Ko was acting difficult. I intervened and then subdued him. In the process, when Fernando and these guys arrived, they were all handcuffed. Fernando I cannot remember. Fernando was not. I cannot remember seeing him. Mr. Witness. A Guinea-Bissau drug dealer is apprehended. He was on the run. They ran away with the agency money, 15,000 euros. He is apprehended and brought to the NIA. He's not in handcuffs. Counsel. He was not the one who ran with the money. And I do not want to tell you what is I'm not sure about. It is quite obvious that he would be in handcuffs. It's possible, sir. It's possible. Exactly. Yes, sir. It's possible. All of these guys were in cuffs. Very true. Exactly. So you said he was becoming difficult, and then what happened? I slapped him. Gave him a hooked kick. That is when you say ngajas. Seriously. And he fell to the ground. Fell on the ground. I subdued him. He started. What was there to subdue? No more misbehaving. This guy is in handcuffs. You slapped him. You kicked his feet from under him. He fell to the ground. What was there to subdue? The gentleman was so strong. Even to him sit was a problem. Okay, you subdued him. But this is a man who was already grounded. And I looked at him. By your karate kick. And I looked at him. You agree with that? Very true, sir. Very true. And I said, where are you from? He said, Guinea. I said, you leave your country and come to our country to destroy our country? Mr. Witness. Counsel, sir. Irrespective of whatever he may have done. The person had rights. Agreed. Sir. By slapping him, you violated his rights. By kicking him,
Every other thing I agree, sir.
You violated.
So
the fact that he was in Gambia dealing in drugs, spoiling our country. The law of the Gambia required that you deal with him in a very civilized and humane manner. Do you agree with that?
Council, I agree with you 100%.
Your conduct was not justified. It's in fact legally reprehensible.
Council, I totally agree with what you said.
Let us move on. What happened after that?
I thought and said, you Karamo, there was this other person who said Gambia. I said, so you are conniving with foreigners?
And Tijandur.
I slapped the other guy too. To cut a long story short, there was none among them that I did not slap or beat.
And not only that, they were undressed, they were all stripped naked.
Very correct.
Do you also know that that is a violation of their rights? It is inhumane, it is degrading to strip people naked.
Council, I agree. Can I tell you something? Please let me learn before you proceed.
Let me just ask
you a
question. That is also another fundamental violation of their rights.
I agreed.
In fact, stripping people naked and put them down, sit them down on the floor, and being questioned was part of the modus operandi of the NIA.
I want to agree on this first instance. That is where I was.
That is how things were done. On that particular,
and I did not undress them.
But what was your rank at the time?
I was a director, sir.
Who was in the room? Who else was in the room?
And the Deputy Director General was there.
Who was he?
That is Momodu Hydra.
Did he stop it?
No.
Amake.
Neither did I.
Obviously, this made it a policy. The institution, because it was sanctioned and carried out in the presence with the acquiescence of the top directors.
I will agree on this instance, which I was.
So these people were all beaten by you. And they were stripped. You said you did not strip them naked. Honestly speaking, do you believe that legally speaking, you have responsibility for their humiliation at that time?
I agreed.
You are guilty of their humiliation. The evidence we have received suggested that they did not only receive simple slaps and kicks from you. they were beaten mercilessly by the others. True or false?
I would tell you, can I tell you something, sir?
Yes, sir.
Having done what I did, I moved to my office. What might have transpired there, I did not witness that. Yes, sir.
Did you see torture written all over their bodies like you saw in
When I left, I did not go back into the hall.
Be careful. Don't bind yourself in an untenable situation. This is the third warning. You went back there.
Back to the hall?
Yes.
No, I did not go back.
Well, we would come back to that. Just avoid an embarrassing situation. So, when you left, it means, or does it mean that was the end of your direct interaction with this investigative session?
There was another instance.
Yes, tell us about it.
Babu Cham was brought. He was undressed. When I came out, it was not in the conference hall.
Where was it?
In front of my office, the veranda.
Mr. Witness, I'm sure you heard of Babu Cham's testimony. And that is why you quickly recalibrated. Okay? But the fact of the matter is, Babu Cham said he came with those who arrested him. So, and others. He arrived at the time when these guys were being tortured. And he in fact saw Alaji Moore carrying this this instrument of torture, either a cane or whatever it was. That was being used to whip these people.
That was his testimony, sir.
That's his testimony.
And
he said you were seated there.
No, it's not true. In fact, in front of my office, the veranda, that is where he was dealt with.
I had a conversation with you before. And you told me that you were all seated there.
When I came out from my office, it was not in the conference hall where we were seated. Babu Cham was not dealt with those people in the same place.
Are you suggesting that Babu Cham did not know what happened to him?
I am not disputing that. I said he was undressed in my presence, and when I came out, I saw him.
Babu Cham told the commission that he was brought inside the conference room where you people were seated. And he mentioned those who were sitting there. And he mentioned you being there. He also mentioned Alaji Moore being there. And he indicated that these people were being beaten as they arrived.
It's not true.
Mr. Chair, it's 10 to 2. Perhaps we should just take the break now, the lunch break, and we come back after 1 hour.
Can I conclude this area before we go, please, sir?
Let us take the break. We'll give you time to think about this. And be careful the answers that you give. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Council, and thank you, Mr. Drame. We will resume at 3 o'clock. Meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
Are you giving us 1 hour, 10 minutes?
Yes, that's
all right. Thank you. All right. It's 5. All right, thank you.
Europe, USA, Canada, Switzerland, and the rest of the world, Supersonic's money transfer has got you covered. With the largest payout network in the Gambia, you can now receive your monies anywhere you are, from Kartong to Koina, with less hassle. Yes! You can receive monies from your family and friends in UK, Europe, USA, Canada, Switzerland, and the rest of the world with our safe, secure, fast, and convenient service that offers you the largest selection of payout locations in the Gambia. Supersonic's money transfer. We are currently in 34 African countries and counting, giving you quality money remittance services that are second to none. Visit the Google Play Store or the Apple Store today to download the Supersonic's money transfer app and enjoy excellent money transfer services only with Supersonics. If you want to receive monies from UK, Europe, USA, Canada, Switzerland, and the rest of the world, Supersonic's money transfer has got you covered. With the largest payout network in the Gambia, you can now receive your monies anywhere you are, from Kartong to Koina, with less hassle. Yes! You can receive monies from your family and friends in UK, Europe, USA, Canada, Switzerland, and the rest of the world with our safe, secure, fast, and convenient service that offers you the largest selection of payout locations in the Gambia. Supersonic's money transfer. We are currently in 34 African countries and counting, giving you quality money remittance services that are second to none. Visit the Google Play Store or the Apple Store today to download the Supersonic's money transfer app and enjoy excellent money transfer services only with Supersonics.
Sala cabinet bu nekk nga am lal bu nooy saal bi ñu ko defar bam yaaña toogu yi nekk fa télé bi nekk fa channel bi nekk fa channel bu la neex ngay cuun waaye nag amuñ si loolu rek yéen ñi nga xam ne yéenay dem ak seen famille ak seen njaboot benn nit wala ñaari nit ñu ngi leen fa amal waañ yu baax waañ yu yaaña bagaas yi waañ yëpp ñu ngi fa yow yaay xool loo bëgg a tooga rek nga teg si gaz bi daal di taal tooga lekka sa xol sedda
léegi tamit nag aman lañ leen lii di AC ak ñu nga xam ne fan rek lañ am waaye amuñ si loolu rek ñu ngi leen amal fu nga xam ne foofu ngeen di toog ngeen fiixlu seen xel dal ñu ngi leen amal ndox ak courant 24 hours amuñ si loolu rek njëg bi yomb ba bëgg a dee
fu ñu nekk nag neex a xam ba bëgg a dee si gannaaw gaaraas si base bi foofu sa Farafenni lu néew rek ngay dox am si marché bi jënd loo bëgg delluwaat sa kër ak Yaa Faatu's Guest House mun nga noo jokkoo ñun si 790 1355
35 30 489
email si ombay7843@gmail.com si Yaa Faatu's Guest House so leen fa demee dinañ leen jox customer care service bu baax seen xolay sedda ba ni ngeen fay jógee Yaa Faatu's Guest House Yaa Faatu's Guest House lii leen amal yéen ñuy dem Farafenni saay boo leen tëddee nelaw leen ndaxte Yaa Faatu's Guest House génne na seen coono bi yëpp fii si biir dëkk bi Yaa Faatu's Guest House
You want to know about the Gambia entertainment industry. You want to know the existing policies and programs of the arts and culture sector. You want to know about the governance and management of the arts associations. The program will throw a fresh light on the entertainment industry in focus. We will touch so many angles about the cultural sector, the opportunities and challenges, and interrogate them, and most importantly, offer solutions.
jaajëfal bu baax a baax ñu toog ak Ibrahima Diawa tey nag moom gisuñ ganila yi gisuñ cuubi
waxuma ne dama taxawaat pour mayo waxuma ne ma taxawaat pour place bi wala place bële man bi maa ñëw fu mayo si ay nit ñoo ma utal si ne dañ bëgg pour ma taxaw pour mayo si te jaawo gi nit ñi di la toppa xam nga ak yooyu ma gis ne leena moo fi sës benn teel a sëy parti boo xalaat nag waxtaan ne ñoo man su seen kilifa waxtaanu ta man yónnee nañ nit ci man gis nga développement gis nga tali yi nekk Banjul dang daan dugg biir Banjul xet di la rëy xet amatu fi bu timis bu la fekkaan fi waxtu wi nii ngaa bugg di def di tàccu yooyu te Banjul loolu amatu fi waaw ci naka
ñu dégg ne yow daal léegi NPP nga maanaam bu baro nga waaw loolu laa dégg te ma ne nag
waaw
foog nga jàkkaarloo lii di sama xarit nga wax ak moom parce que nit yaa ngi ko wax de
ku nekk ut na ma ne fekk ñëwuma ci ground bi pour assess the political landscape du ma support benn parti
egsi nga léegi fan la
Ibrahima am na diina
Supersonics Supersonics Money Transfer ñoo dellu si waat indi leen xéewal bu neex a neex fii ba weeri octobre di jeex waaw fii ba weeri octobre di jeex mën nga am sansu win benn saaku maalo saa yoo jotee xaalis fii ci biir réewi Gambia bàyyee ko foofu sa UK Europe US Canada ak Switzerland ak Supersonics Money Transfer xanaa lii neexati na doore ko tey ba weeri octobre di jeex mën nga win benn saaku maalo saa yoo jotee xaalis fii ci biir réewi Gambia bàyyee ko UK Europe US Canada ak Switzerland téeméeri saaku maalo ñoo fi nekk kon gaawal nga bokk ci téeméeri nit yi nga xam ne mën nga am sans win ci xéewal yi nga xam ne kenn dootu ko natable ak Supersonics Money Transfer bànneexu leen ci suñ yónneekaay xaalis bi gën a wóor gën a gaaw gën a noppale ak yónneekaay xaalis bi gën a màgg ci biir réewi Gambia te duñ la fayeeku dara saytu leen ñu ci Google Play Store wala Apple Store nga mën a bindoo ci suñ app bi di Supersonics Money Transfer app cay bi xéewal ak Supersonics rek